In this video, I'm going to give you the cold call script I've used to make over 60,000 outbound cold calls, and I guarantee it will work for whatever product or industry you're selling into. But first, I want you to hear exactly how I would sound on a real cold call. I'm going to cold call this AI bot, Alex DuPont, VP of Sales Operations at Customer Center. I want you to take note of my tone, pitch, inflection, how I use the first 15 seconds to my advantage. The reason I'm calling you is, boom, and then how I overcome objections to deliver my call to action and hopefully set the meeting. Let's see how this goes.
Hello, who is this?
Hey, Alex, this is Trent from Data Find. How are you?
I'm all right. What do you want?
That's great to hear. The reason I was giving you a call specifically, Alex, is I noticed that you oversee sales operations at Customer Center. And I was curious if your team is focused on increasing pipeline generation, meeting win rates, and ultimately generating more revenue.
Yes, that's part of my job. What's your point?
I figured it was, Alex, and I speak with other leaders of sales operations every single day, and they're interested in having real-time updates into their database so their sales reps have the best lead quality and further customization so that they can increase their sales effectiveness and productivity. Being that this is a priority for your team today, I'd like to set up a brief introductory conversation so that we can learn more about what you're focused on, introduce how we can help, and then see where we take it from there.
Look, I get calls like this all the time. Everyone's got a solution. Why should I spend my time on this? What's so special about DataFind that I haven't heard before?
Sure, and I'm certainly not expecting your team to change, and I'd be surprised if you didn't have a solution in place. May I ask who your current provider is today?
We're currently using Salesforce as our main CRM tool.
I see, and they're absolutely fantastic. What we find from customers that switch from that vendor to us is they typically see limitations with their data accuracy. They don't have all the integrations they need, and they may be paying more than they need to. So while I certainly don't expect you to change, I think it would be beneficial to talk about some of the benefits you would see as your team continues to grow and how we might be able to help.
All right, I'm listening. But make it quick. I've got a meeting in 10 minutes.
Sure. Well, in order for your team to take your revenue to the next level, having global reach and local precision with your contact data from around the world, this will enable your sales team to expand its reach without sacrificing the precision needed for successful engagement. Being that you agree this is important, are you interested in setting up an introductory conversation with me so that we can explore this further when you're actually expecting my call?
Fine. But I'm not making any promises. Let's set it up for next week. I'll have my assistant send you some times. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Alex. Just like that. That was literally my first try. They gave me 10. This is some sort of cold calling competition. And I just wanted you guys to see on my very first try with literally no prep work, I came in here and I got a 84.7 score. I closed my opener, the discovery, I uncovered who their current provider is. So however they're scoring the discovery is clearly wrong, but I'll take it. It looks like there's some other people. Someone has got a 99, so clearly he must have gamed the system. That's how I make cold calls. I wanted you to hear that. So let's talk about my actual cold calling script and how I use it to set more meetings. I want to have it in this view so my beautiful face doesn't cut off the script. So if you do B2B sales like me, it's important to be mindful of who you're calling in the first place. That's the first point I want you to know is some people tell me, hey, I'm given lead list. I have auto dialers. If you're doing low ticket value B2C sales, business to consumer, and if you're given lead lists, then I would just click off the video entirely, because it doesn't matter what your script is or what you say. It's so low leverage that it's a numbers game. So don't worry about what you're saying on the phone. When you enter the big leagues and you're doing B2B sales and you're selling deals that are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, that's when the skill of finesse is really going to matter, because there's a lot more leverage with your time, because they have the ability to spend significantly more money. And your deal size is determined by who you're selling to. So if you're selling insurance to a consumer, they don't have more than $1,000 to spend with you. If you're selling insurance to a company that has thousands of employees, they can spend millions of dollars with you. So if you just decide to sell to large companies, you'll sell bigger deals and you'll make more money. So be very mindful who you're calling. And if you're calling VPs and C-levels like I do, B2B, this is how you think about your script. As you heard on that role play, I start out every single cold call by saying, "Hey, Alex, this is Trent from Data Source. How are you?" The reason I use the "how are you" is because it tells me a lot about how they're doing. If they say, "I'm doing okay, how are you?" I know I'm in. I'm immediately going to get in my talk track, because they've asked me how I am. That's a very positive sign. If they say, "Who are you?" That's not a great sign. That means they're already irritable and it's an uphill battle, and I need to immediately get into it. So by asking, "How are you?" pause. Don't say, "How are you?" and then go into your talk track. That is so low level. Some gimmicky sales trainers will suggest that you use, "Hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up? Hey, can I have 27 seconds?" There's different lines you can use, and they will all work if you say it correctly, because what you say isn't necessarily as important as how you say it. But I think they're all very gimmicky. Just be very upfront. "Hey, how are you?" But you got to sound like you actually care about their answer, and that's what I do. I then am going to get into the reason. The reason. The prospect is receiving a call from a number they don't recognize. They're already hesitant, and they're wondering, who are you? What do you want? And why are you calling them specifically? Give them that. The reason I'm calling you specifically, and imagine that I am calling you, you're a VP of HR, and I'm selling an employee feedback solution. The reason I'm calling you specifically is because you lead the HR vision and strategy at Tesla. I work with other HR leaders who are focused on engaging and retaining their people. Being that you are an HR leader, I know that you care about engaging and retaining your people. This is a value outcome. I'm not saying, "Hey, do you do surveys?" That is feature driven. I am focused on the outcome of gathering employee feedback, and that is engaging and retaining their people. And the reason why you lead with the reason and then a value outcome is because you then set them up to say yes, because you need them to agree that those are outcomes they care about. And you know that those are outcomes they have to care about based on your research of who your buyer persona is. Because you then say, you do a bit of qualification, and then you set yourself up for your value proposition. "Hey, I work with other HR leaders who are focused on engaging and retaining their people. How do these priorities resonate with what your team is focused on today?" Hey, is your team interested in driving those outcomes? Of course they are. They say, and then if they're rude, they'll say, "Yeah, we have something in place." I figured you did. We help other companies in your space to close employee experience gaps and drive more business impact through helping you take action. Very succinct value prop, outcome oriented. So you're focused on the result of your solution. And you heard on the role play, when he said he had something in place, I said, "I'd be surprised if you didn't." Acknowledge it. Hey, call to action. Being that you value programs like these today, are you interested in setting up a brief intro call to discuss how we could deliver incremental value to your efforts today? Call to action. If you don't ask, you'll never receive. At that point, you're either going to get a yes, best case, but most likely you're going to get an objection. If you get an objection, a line that I like to use, no matter what the objection is, if it's budget, if it's no budget, if it's we have something in place, now's not a good time, always acknowledge them. Hey, we're not talking money. Hey, I don't expect you to change. But there will come a point in the future when you have a renewal and you're interested in understanding what else is available on the market. By the end of our conversation, you'll either feel all the more confident in your existing provider, or see areas of opportunity that you can even implement in your program today or will be worthy of consideration in the future. It wouldn't hurt. We're looking to be your partner. We're committed to long-term success here. That is the paradigm shift. You're not needy by us. It's we want to be your partner and you are a consultant. That is the approach. And the final thing I'll say is if you get an objection somewhere up here in the beginning, the line that I like to use is I like to say, hey, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. May I have 30 seconds for me to tell you the reason why I called? That will work every single time if they say, I'm in a meeting. Why did you call me? How'd you get my number? If the call feels rushed, it's you who are rushing the call. In today's video, we covered my exact B2B cold calling script that I guarantee will work for you no matter what product you're selling. We even did a live cold call with an AI bot. I got an 84 out of 100 on my very first attempt. No practice or prep work ahead of time. I'm just that good. If you are interested in furthering your cold calling skills, I have linked my cold calling course down below. It also includes all things cold email, prospecting strategy, and much, much more. I even include a one-on-one coaching call with me. If you'd like me to help implement my cold calling program and strategy with you, talk about your script, do a role play, I'm all in on your success. Over 1,000 reps have used it, and you wouldn't believe some of the messages I get on LinkedIn. So I know it will work for you, and I'm so confident in it that I'll offer a full back money guarantee. You can message me on LinkedIn or even comment down below because I would see it if you don't think it's helpful, but I guarantee it will be. So I'll link that down below. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you cold call, I guarantee this information will work for you. Talk to you in the next video.